Yep,
Hello?
just a few questions
Yes,
for
of
you.
course.
Okay. So first of all, thanks for your time.
No problem.
I think we start at the beginning. I think you and Robert founded the band in '96. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Did you cast the rest of the band members, or were they friends of you?
The band members that we asked to join the band when we started were French actually, but also sometimes friends, and some of them were people we know through other people, and we knew they could play very well or might fit the band. Yeah.
What qualification do they have to play within Temptation?
What kind of qualification do the band members need to have? Well, first of all, they need to have a certain kind of personality that really clicks with the rest of the band, of course, and well, they need to be able to play the songs to a certain degree. They need to play it very well, but they don't need to be a virtuoso. Like they don't need to be Steve Vai or something. So.
Is it also a point image or styling or something?
That they have a certain image or style. That's not that important for me. There's always that's something that goes naturally. They have that or they don't have it, but we never selected somebody for their image or styling. No.
Okay.
Not yet.
So, what were your expectations at this time when you started with the band?
Well, when we started with the band, we didn't have any expectations because in Holland there is not that much of a music culture. We never thought that our band, making the music that we liked, would have a chance as a mainstream band or anything, or that we could live from it, or that it would be a real profession. Because always when you say in Holland when you're a musician and people ask, okay, and your real day job is what? That's the tradition in Holland to say when you say that you're a musician. So, yeah.
Okay. What do you think with interpretation? Is it for a band? Is it better to have a boss who decides everything, or is it better to work in a democratic way?
I think it works better if there's, not everybody has a vision, and I think when we started a band, Robert and myself, we had a certain vision how we wanted to be, what kind of band we wanted to be, what kind of music we wanted to make, and I think if everybody can contribute, of course, everybody's welcome. But it is always best that one person takes or two persons take a decision finally. Otherwise, too many captains gives a lot of war, I think.
Cool. So let's talk about you. How did you get into singing, and how did you start to make music?
Well, when I was very young, I was really really early with singing actually, but not of course in the living room and stuff. That's how everybody starts. I was 4 years old when I told my parents that I wanted to have pocket money because my brother also got at the same time pocket money, but he was 6 years older. And my parents were always into music, so Pink Floyd, Deep Purple, Chris Rea, Queen, ELO, all those kind of music. I heard it all day, and there was always something playing on the record player or tape at the time. And so what happens is my parents said, okay, you can have pocket money, but you can only spend it on music. So every Saturday we went to the record store and I bought a few tapes. Sometimes my parents advised, sometimes my brother advised. And the first tapes I bought was from Greece, which was my own choice, with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta, which I listened to for many years and inspired me a lot, especially her voice. It was really like magic to me, especially those songs. But also Jeff Wayne with Wars of the World. Dun, 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 dun. Do you know that? Do you know that anthem, the theme? It's very big and very dark, and it's called Wars of the World. And another tape I bought was Moody Blues, and I think Boney M. But from that moment on, a world opened up for me because I was able to choose my own music that I liked, and I was really discovering everything at the same time. And although I was very young, it really, I really started singing more and more, and I liked it a lot. I never wanted to be an entertainer, but I always wanted to be a singer actually. And because I'm not really a big talker, I'm not really somebody who really likes the limelight, but it's more like, the music really appeals to me. And but I started already in school bands when I was 11, and after that I went into I followed this course called How to Be in a Band. Then I was 14, and I thought to myself, if I don't do it now, because I didn't want to go to a real music school to learn the flute, because that's how you start in Holland always, and you have to learn notes and stuff. And I just want to sing. How difficult can it be? Just tell me how to sing. That's all I want to know. And when they had these lessons, this course you could follow, called How to Be in a Band, you could do it in practice. Not without having to learn first how to play a flute. And I met some guys who were a lot older than me, 6 years older, and they asked me to join their band, and we formed our first band called Kashiro. Actually, should have been Koroshi, which means suicide pilot, a Japanese suicide pilot. At least that's what the guitar player told me anyway. But we made rock music. Going from the Red Hot Chili Peppers to Stevie Ray Vaughan, blues music, and everything in between actually. And then I met Robert when I was 19, 20, something like that. And we started with invitation, more or less, yeah.
I think you recorded albums also with orchestra and a core and everything. Very much classical elements, also play live. So what are the difficulties to play live with an orchestra?
Well, the thing is that it's technically, the problem with playing with an orchestra is that it's technically very difficult to really record it well and to keep the sound right also during the whole show, because of course they detune sometimes, and it's difficult. Then you really have to have the time in between to really tune everything again. And of course not every stage is prepared for such a big orchestra that we normally use for our records. And there's always a choir as well, so you need a lot of space for everybody, so that's difficult. But we did it once, and it was a great experience, especially to be on stage and hear it everywhere around you. That was beautiful. Yeah.
So then I have another few questions more about the music business in generally. I think, do you have a management, the band?
The band has a management here for many years now. Yeah.
So what do you think, how hard is it to manage you as an artist?
I don't think we're that difficult. The only thing is that we are a band that doesn't stay only in Holland, but goes to many places, and that's a lot of coordinating, of course, and a lot of arranging stuff, but also a lot of checking of things. And I'm so glad I don't have to do it anymore. I'm so glad we have them to manage everything. Yes.
I think you produced 3 short movies for your new
Sorry?
album. 3 short movies for your new album.
Swedish.
Music videos.
We?
Like movies.
Oh, we made movies.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And a comic, exactly.
What was the reason for it?
Well, our new album, The Unforgiving, is a concept album for the first time for us, and we wanted to base our lyrics on a very cool story. That was the main thing that we wanted to have. So first we tried to see if we could find a movie that would come out during the same time as our album, and we had some very good big movies, but the problem was that they kept postponing their release date, and we were like, okay, to keep it matters in our own hands, we're gonna do it differently. We're gonna see if we can find somebody who can write a story for us, and maybe it's also nice to do a comic in a way, and a comic book, and we knew somebody, a comic artist, and we asked him, do you know somebody who could write a story for us? And he brought us in contact with Stephen O'Connell from America. He does a lot of scripts. He writes a lot of scripts, and but he didn't have anything particular that we really liked immediately. But then he called us back a few days later, and he said, well, I have a concept, I have an idea, and he told us about this. It was about this Mother Maiden person. She recruits people from the dead, but not everyone, but just people that she thinks are special. and she gives people a second chance to redeem their soul because they have done bad things, but they're not in the basic bad people. And well, it's what happens is that it's more a thriller and a detective. This story is not like a Marvelish kind of thing, like people running around in capes and stuff like that. But they have some supernatural things to them, but no capes. So it's not like Superman or Supergirl or whatever, or more like Wolverine, which is more a nowadays kind of hero and mysterious guy. And we made some short movies with the comic to explain the main characters of this comic, and because it doesn't get explained in the comic when it comes out, it's going to be will come out in a paperback, but also for downloadable in a downloadable way, and. So we felt that it would be nice to do it also in a certain atmosphere, different again from the comic. It's going to be more in the direction of Sin City, the way it looks and everything. It's a little bit dark, but also well, I think a certain atmosphere. Yeah.
Music videos more as art or more as a marketing tool?
I see like videos. We did the band performances separately from the movies that we made this time. I think it's of course it's a marketing tool, but it's also a creative process, of course. And especially the movies that we've made was very creative, and I think the best we've done so far. And we really had a good production company helping us out, and they were very creative. They were so creative actually that when we were developing the story with Stephen O'Connell, the basic of the story that we were thinking what can happen in the story, they even had some cool ideas as well, and we also put those ideas into the story. So it was really a team of creative people, and especially Stephen was really a big part of that also. Yeah.
Cool. So last question. What is success for you as a singer or musician?
What does success mean for me? Well, it gives me more creative freedom, of course, and that's I think the main thing. Of course, you appreciate that people like it, of course, and it's a big compliment. But eventually, where it comes down to more creativity, possibilities for that. Yeah.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Very nice. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.